Get a Grip on Rebates is brought to you by Light Efficient Design and their Solera Lighting Hybrid Area Light. Man, this product is really unique. The Solera Solar Lighting Hybrid 365 is game-changing technology. It leverages both solar and line voltage to power up some pretty bright LED area lights. Those things can be on 24/7. It is fascinating. It has a sensor. This hybrid 365 has a sensor that knows when to switch from the cost-free solar power to the line voltage, so that you can use it pretty much cost-free until your battery is depleted and then moves to line voltage. It's a unique all-in-one design, delivers high performance, ease of installation, and adjustability, and it's really like any other solar lighting. So go out, get yourself a Solera Solar Lighting Hybrid 365 from Solera Lighting and Light Efficient Design. Hello and welcome to Get a Grip on Rebates. This is Juan Carlos Blacker, and as always, I have with me John Wilson. John, how you doing?
Doing good. Thanks, Juan Carlos.
Excellent. Hey, I'm going to jump right into it today. No banter back and forth, but hey, we talked last time about Energy Star and its value to the market and to our distributors, and you were hinting to me that you wanted to expand on that thought. So I'm gonna let you riff for a little while. Tell me what you're thinking.
I mean, I think one of the things that was running through my head is like, this show is what? Get a Grip on Rebates, right? And you and I, like, it's easy for us to jack on all this stuff. And sometimes it's like going into utility land. Sometimes that's like way up in this ivory tower of like policy and good intentions. It's pretty easy. I mean, we got two utility guys here, no distributors at the table. It's kind of easy to get connected from the trenches. And that Energy Star one, it just kind of had me thinking, like my visceral reaction was like, how much do we collectively, but especially how is this impacting distributors? And I was unable, without a distributor in the room or to give us feedback, I was like, we can't answer that. So I kind of had a couple thoughts. I was like, what are the pain points? What is impacting distributors right now with rebates, right? I mean, is it this like macro level national energy policy, right? The big cogs that are turning slowly, that sometimes we don't even recognize because they're so big and have been going on or is it like where your utility rebates are right now for TLEDs, right? I mean, I want to hear and understand from people what are the pinch points for distributors, not just in 2020, but and in 2020,
Right. I agree. I think that is a really valid question. It's the distributors is where the rubber hits the road on most of these utility programs or lighting utility programs, and a place that we often ignore in terms of how the programs are designed to benefit them. They are complicated. They're difficult. They're difficult to participate in, and we think we know those pain points. But we might not. And so I hear you. I think for the two utility guys in the room, you and I have both been recently pretty tied into the distributor networks and the distributors, and our interest and concern for their needs and their pain points is big. So how do we get there? How do we figure that out?
A lot of the for some reason, don't tell me why. I think I could know why. We can discuss it. For some reason in these utility programs, the contractors are kind of the darlings of the program. They're like the dudes who mostly you see with like the big check moment, and they're like the ones spiking the ball in the end zone, right? And
right.
But when I was in programs, one good distributor is worth 10 contractors. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, not that we don't love our contractors. We love our contractors. Let's not. But you're right. You're absolutely right.
but of course, you got to. But here's what I'm saying: in these utility programs, if you're a contractor, eat this up. And also, there's a million examples of this in other industries. Here's how I'm going to summarize it. I think contractors, as far as feedback to programs goes, kind of punch above their weight class. Okay, because they're right next to the utility customer, and for whatever reason, just in my opinion, the electrical contractors, they just get their voice gets amplified a little bit more to utilities as far as like how the utilities need to be pulling and adjusting the levers. In this show, you and I talk about everything from the incentives down in the trench level all the way to like this last show we were talking about. It was kind of this macro level, like what's happening with Energy Star at the national level, which is relevant, right? But I'm just acknowledging those are like two different bookends.
Right.
I am genuinely curious to hear from distributors, like what do you really care about when it comes to utility incentives? Because distributors are the leverage point for these programs.
Right. So why don't we put a big invitation out there for our listeners, particularly our distributor listeners? If you want to come in and talk to us about this, let us know. We'll reach out to some of our contacts, but if you're out there and you want to talk about utility programs, how they're affecting you at the distributor level, please reach out. Let us know. We'll put a whole show around you to discuss this.
I'm gonna tell you this: finding Juan Carlos and identifying him on LinkedIn is probably a heck of a lot easier than me. So he can be your point man, but we'll accept messages on either end, and we'd love to hear from folks.
That is true. I think, and I'm not 100% sure of this, but I think I might be the only Juan Carlos Blacker on social media. So or even on Google. So yeah, looking me up is pretty easy. I shouldn't put that out there in the ether, but there you go. I'm not a hard guy to find. Yeah, I do want to reiterate out there to our distributors and to all of our listeners that it is the distributors right now that have a lot to gain out of these utility lighting programs. Most, if not all, utilities are starting to drive into this midstream model, which is focused and really distributor facing. I think your idea on the contractors, the fact that the contractors are the darlings, is because most of the programs till now have been at that downstream, the customer or contractor facing. Many programs are moving to this midstream distributor facing side. So a lot of place for distributors to play, to save money, to grow market share, to grow sales numbers. But there's a lot of complications in them and the pain points. And so utilities, for our utility listeners, getting a distributor on here to tell us a little bit more about how to make these programs more streamlined and easier for distributors to participate in could be very valuable. So there you go. We love our distributors, right, John?
I want to put one more little bit of a polished ask out there. Honestly, this would be if I was going to come up with a specific question, I want to know where distributors are at with TLEDs. Are they over them? Are they like, God, somebody take these things away? Because everybody I know who sells them kind of hates it. Like they know it's like eating potato chips, and you know they stop tasting good. You know, at first you're like, these things are the bomb, and you're just eating them. But then at some point, Lay's stop tasting good and start kind of tasting nasty. And most distributors, they're like, I got to just sell more and more. My margin's going down and down. And it's like, well, then why are you on it, dude? But is it because you can't get off because the utility programs aren't there? Like, I really like that's the thing I want to hear from people across the country about.
Great question. Definitely something we should dig into. Well, we've put out the ask. We definitely want to hear from our distributors. We'll continue to ask these questions and to bring people on. And until that happens, I guess it's you and me talking through rebates. So,
man, they're gonna call this episode JC and Wilson Go Fishing for topics. It's like, but.
Exactly. Good stuff. Well, that's it for me today. Any last things from you?
No, man, this is fun. I hope we can mix the pot up a little bit and get some more distributor perspective in the mix. But you know, me and you bantering about with nothing but conjecture, it's fun.
It is. Well, thanks again, everybody, for joining us on Get a Grip on Rebates. I'm Juan Carlos Blacker. That's John Wilson. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Get a Grip on Rebate was brought to you by Light Efficient Design and the Solera Solar Lighting Hybrid 365, game-changing technology that uses both solar and line voltage to power LED area lights 24/7.